Mindy here, and I wanted to share with you an unboxing video. Now you can see I already tapped into it, and the reason being is I actually already had filmed this, but unfortunately with no voice, so it did nothing, so I have to redo this. But Ranger had contacted me recently and asked if I wanted to take a look and try out some products from their show at Creativation. And I said yes, of course. So I wanted to show you what I all received in the box and then also show you what it does, or some of the products anyway. So this is my little goodie box I received. And you can see it's already open because, like I said, oops, didn't work last time. So we're gonna take a look at all the products in here. So this is my little goodie box. And I'll go through all of the products with you, and then we'll take a closer look at each of them. So the first thing out of the box is this Embossing Ink Pad. This is gray tinted. This is by Ranger. So what this will do is, normally if you were to stamp in a clear ink, it's really hard to see your images on the paper where you want to emboss. This is gray tinted, so you'll be able to see it. It's very, very light. And you'll be able to see where you embossed, and then once you do emboss, that covers it all up and you won't see the gray anymore. So this is the gray tinted embossing ink. We also have a bunch of Stickles in here. Lots of sparkle. I think that is all of them. And I'll show you these in person too. So the first one we have is Palm Leaf. Now with the Stickles bottles, I've always loved Stickles. They have this really great fine tip. It's one of the things I really love about the Stickles bottles. So that is the Palm Leaf. Then we have this nice bright Sunburst, and this all has that glitter in there. Then we have Hibiscus, a nice bright pink. We have Grapefruit, which I think is a super cool color. We have Mermaid Tail, great iridescent purple, and then Unicorn. And these have always been some of my favorites. I know Unicorn is new, but there were other ones in the past where it's just got kind of that clear sparkle to it. So I can't wait to show all of these to you. I'm going to give you some samples on paper here in just a minute. In the box, we also have some liquid pearls, and these are just really great for embellishing your cards, adding a little something extra if you just wanted to decorate it up a little bit more. Okay, so for liquid pearls, lots of bright colors. Our first one here is this bright orange, Outrageous. Some really fun names to go with these. This gorgeous blue is Brilliant. Kind of reminds me of like a salty ocean. This one's Dazzle, so a bright pink. And these will have a pearl sheen to them once they dry. Also with the fine tips. This bright yellow is Lightning. We have a bright green, which is Electric. And then Shocking. So that's kind of like maybe like a neon orangish pink grapefruit color. So those are the liquid pearls, and I'll show you examples of those in just a bit as well. We also have a bottle of the Embossing ink, the gray tinted that I just showed you. So another fine tip. Then we have some embossing powders. Can never have too many embossing powders, right? So you can see they have the clear top, so you can see what color is in there. Or if you wanted to make a sample and hole punch it, you could put samples of it on the top of the jars as well. So this first one is called Bubbly. Then we have Steel, which is kind of like a grayish blue. Really, really pretty. Love Letters. It's kind of like a mauve type of color. And then Wisteria, which you could see is this like grayish purple. And I will sample these on white and black cardstock for you so you can see how they look in person. Then also in the box is a craft scrubby. So you can see this says it cleans inks, paints, mediums, and from your hand. You wet it with water and soap and then scrub over the stained areas. And I already took this out of the package. I haven't tried it out yet, but it kind of has like a styrofoam-ish, I shouldn't put it back there, type of feel to it. Kind of like, you know, if you were to go in the craft section for flowers and stuff, it kind of reminds me of. So it's got this real gritty feel to it to get stuff off of your hands. And last but not least are the ink cozies. So I thought these were really cool. If you are prone to tipping things over like I am, you can just set your jars in there and they kind of just rest in there. There's also a flat edge if you tilt them on their side. So these are really cute. Your little craft cozies. So, and I do want to just say thank you, Ranger, for sending these amazing products. So excited to add these to my collection and try out some projects with these. And like I said, I'm going to get you some examples here in just a second and show you how all these look on cardstock. All right, so I'm going to test out the gray tinted embossing ink and also the embossing powder. So I thought the easiest way to do this would just be to set it up in my Misty tool. So I did already prep this with an anti-static powder tool to try and prevent my embossing powder from going where I don't want it to. And I'm also going to do this on black cardstock. So like I said, I just thought it was easier to load this up in the Misty. And also, when I had played with this a little bit last week, I noticed when I tried to put it on an acrylic block, it was a little slippery. Might be just because it's a brand new ink pad, so it's a little more juicy than my other pads, but I just wanted to load this up for convenience purposes. So we'll get this tried out, and I'm just using this Thanks stamp set from Simon Says Stamp. I just thought it was a nice, simple stamp set to try out, and it's kind of got some thickness to it so you can really see the colors on it. So this is the Emboss It Gray Tinted Embossing Ink. And I'm just gonna ink up my stamp. And close my lid, push this down. So you can see that that is gray. Oh, my stickles are rolling away. All right, so take this out and we will start with the Wisteria. I'm just going to sprinkle that on. That's what it looks like when it's just covered. Heat up my heat tool for a second. So that is the Wisteria. It's really light, but it's just a really gorgeous color. So it's kind of got that grayish purple to it. The still photos will probably be easier to see these colors in once I post those at the end of the video. While I have it out, I will do the black right away. Ink that up with the gray. So that's what it'll look like on the black cardstock. Still a little harder to see, but not too bad. Oh, look at that on black. That is gorgeous. Okay, so there we have the Wisteria on black. And now we'll go into love letters. So I'll try and do both of these at once. Save some time. Oops. That's not what I wanted to do. I'll do this. I meant to move my stamp. You can see that gray really well on the white cardstock. Now this is love letters. Like I said, this kind of reminds me of like a country mauve. And then, actually, I'm gonna just clean this up. I'm gonna move it. So I'll just shift this up a little bit. And then we'll go ahead and ink it up. So this is still using that gray tinted ink. Does pretty good on black. Sprinkle on the love letters. And that looks pretty good on black. So I'm going to take my white again, and this, oh, I should have left it was in the right spot. I'm going to be off. All right, next we are going to try Bubbly. So kind of like a champagne-y color. So this is looking super cool on white, this gray embossing ink. So if you're doing like big backgrounds, creating your own backgrounds by heat embossing, this tinted ink would be great. So there is champagne. Very unique color, I think. And we'll do it on black. And I'm just cleaning in between because I want to move it on my paper and I don't want to transfer anything where I don't want it. I'm not too worried if I have extra embossing powder anywhere because this is just kind of a sample. Otherwise, I'd be prepping my cardstock each time with that anti-static powder tool. Oops. Still stuck my finger right in the embossing powder and spilled it everywhere. Guess I need a cozy for my embossing powder. All right, so that is Bubbly on black. Super, super awesome. Okay. Clean up my mess in a little while. So I'll just leave that there. Next, we are going to do that steel, just kind of like a bluish gray. See if I can not spill it this time. That is the steel, so it's got that grayish blue to it, very steel-like. Great name for it. On the white. And now we will do it on the black. Uh-oh, my tape's coming off. And last one of the embossing powders. And sprinkle on the steel. That just pops right off of that black cardstock. All right, so there we have it. Steel, Bubbly, Love Letters, and Wisteria. And then that is what it looks like between the white and the black cardstock. I typically will heat emboss on black, so I always think it's a good example to do some samples on it to make sure it shows up and stands out really well. Just my opinion. All right, next I will move into the Stickles and Liquid Pearls. So next up, we have the Stickles in the variety of colors. So I'll go ahead and show you what they look like on white and black cardstock. These are always just kind of my two go-to colors when it comes to the cardstock, so I think it's always good, like I said, to have samples of each. Sometimes you might lay it down and it just doesn't pop off of the card like you'd hoped it to. So this is Sunburst. So we'll just give it a squeeze. I'm just gonna add a couple dots. I'm gonna kind of smear it, I think, just to see what it looks like if you were going to apply it to an image. And I'm just gonna take my finger and kind of spread that around a little bit. And we'll see how that looks when it dries later. Okay, that is the Sunburst. This is Grapefruit. I'll just add, and these bottles, I've always enjoyed these because they're super easy to get your product out. Actually, I'll use a little palette knife maybe. See if that helps. Spread that out a little bit. Black is always interesting when it comes to adding a glitter of sorts. So I hope my white is showing up. White's been kind of tricky for me lately. So that was the grapefruit. I hope you can see that okay. All right. Then we have Mermaid Tail. If you're not seeing it on my screen here very well, on the white cardstock, I will have it in still photos too. So this is Mermaid Tail. Ooh, that looks super cool on the black. Okay. Then we have Hibiscus, which is a bright pink. Smear that a little bit. I think the purple shows up the coolest so far. All right, and then palm leaf. So we have a nice green. Smear that a little bit. These are really cool, like if you wanted to, if you had a floral image or something colored, you could add a little bit of Stickles to it because it is already green tinted. Just adds a little sparkle to your image. This next one is a unicorn. So it's probably going to be super hard to see on camera. Oh, I just always love those kind of Stickles, that clear sparkle. All right, so those are the different types of Stickles from Ranger. And like I said, I'll have the still photos there too so you can get a good look at them. Trying to tilt that so it shows really good. So that is the Stickles. And we'll go ahead and do the liquid pearls right away since I have a room on the cardstock. We will start with lightning. So this really, really bright yellow. And I'm not gonna smear these out. I'm just gonna give you a little dab. This is kind of like the neon yellow. And then we have a Dazzle. These really pop off of that black cardstock. A lot of contrast, which I love. This next one is Electric. Then we have Shocking. It's always nice too if you're, when you go to put these on your project, is to do it on scratch paper first, because you can see it kind of bubbled on me, which would have ruined it if I was trying to do like a perfect circle or dome. So always good to test out on your scratch piece of cardstock first, so it doesn't bubble on you like that on your project. All right, this one is Outrageous, so a nice neon green. And then we have Brilliant. All right. Now I'm noticing the pearl is kind of hard to see on that bright yellow, but I can definitely see it on the rest of them. I don't know if you'll be able to see on the camera there, but there is a really pretty pearlescent sheen to it. And these really stand out nice on the black cardstock. And even these drying back, you can see how we got the green here and the purple, the mermaid tail. These kind of clear ones have always been really tricky, I think, on black cardstock, but I think they always come out super amazing. And then the liquid pearl on the white cardstock. So I don't know if you could see that pearlescent tone to them. Very pretty. All right, so that is a look at all the sampling I wanted to do for you. I will have still photos at the end of the video. I will have links down below. A big thank you to Ranger for sending me all these amazing products to try out. And I will be adding these to my projects soon. So thank you much for stopping by and have a great day.